I'm like so happy where I am now. I love playing for Wrexham. Like I said, I feel valued. I feel like I'm part of something special, and I've achieved something special last year in bringing joy to so many people's lives, and being proud of the people that I work with every day, that we achieved that together, and we've still got so much more to achieve together.
My guest today is a tenacious and creative playmaker born into a footballing family. May actually have tumbled into this world wearing a pair of Nike boots. A gent who signed his first professional contract with West Ham as a teen before eventually joining Luton Town, an essential part of the Hatters' back-to-back promotions from League Two to League One. Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson said upon his signing in 2022, he was the player we chased the hardest. And it's no coincidence that when he arrived, the Red Dragons then earned promotion out of the National League after 15 long years. He's since banged in 27 goals, all competitions for Wrexham, and may be our first guest who can use the same trimmer setting for his beard and his hair with perfect results every time. Oh, the bastard. As the song goes, and his name is, it's Mr. Elliot Lee.
Hi, mate.
Oh, good now, Elliot. Let's go back to the beginning of your story. You spent a lot of your childhood in Newcastle, incredible northern city that gave the world two incredible treasures. Oh, the first Greg sausage roll and the man who became Mr. Bean. Your dad, Rob, a club legend who made over 300 appearances for Newcastle United, served as team captain, 21 caps for England along the way. Alan Shearer's great mate. Was it just a given that you and your brother Ollie would become football players? Did you ever dream of a different reality? Elliot Lee, the airline pilot, Elliot Lee, the firefighter, or the pastry chef instead?
I can't see myself as a pastry chef, if I'm honest. No, yeah, I think it was just growing up with my dad, and the environment that I was in. With my brother, we'd always be playing football in the garden. We'd always go and watch Dad. I think when you grow up seeing, I think most people want to be what their dad do. So yeah, just growing up, that was what I wanted to do. And seeing your dad do it just gives you more motivation to do it. And like I said, I'd play with my brother and all of his, like my brother's older than me, so I'd go in the garden and want to play with all of his mates. And I think that even now, I think that helped me because I was like physically developed because I used to play with my brother's older mates. And we'd be out there for hours, me and my brother. So yeah, I think for both of us, it was always going to be football, yeah.
What's your earliest footballing memory?
My earliest footballing memory? It'd probably be watching my dad at St James's. I have a great memory of my dad. I'm not sure how old I was, but his last goal for Newcastle, scored against Manchester United at St James's, and I think he took it around Beckham or Giggs, and then he sort of like, he doesn't hit it well, but it bounces in front of Barthez at the time and goes in, and he just runs, yeah. And he,
I meant that.
yeah, and he goes running around crazy. I'm not sure he even believed he did it because he was older then as well. But no, that's probably one of the best memories and my earliest memories, to be fair. Just going and watch my dad every week at St James's. Yeah.
We like watching your dad do Beckham and then letting him get Beckham back up again and then doing him again and saying, "Do you want more of that, David Beckham?" We're like, was that like, I want that, or did it just feel like, oh my God, that's just like demigod and touching?
Yeah, I think just as a kid, you're just in awe of your dad. You probably I didn't even realise to an extent of how big it was at the time and how much he was adored, especially in the northeast by all the Geordies. But yeah, I think obviously that probably ingrained in me from an early age that I want to be doing this in big stadiums and be cheered on by thousands of people. So yeah, I think it played a part in me wanting to be a footballer and wanting to have. And yeah, just wanted to be like my dad, definitely, yeah.
And in a way, are you still like proving yourself to your brother and his older mates in that garden? That feeling of like wanting to belong, wanting to prove, wanting to fight, wanting to win. Is that like mentally that same feeling?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because we always just garden football. It was serious. It was me and my mates against my brother and his mates. It was my dad would get involved sometimes, and it was serious. Like we still talk about it now.
Get Elliot Shearer around.
Yeah, there was a few of them as well. My dad used to bring all his old teammates. There used to be five-a-sides in the garden, but yeah, me and my mates and my brother's mates, who, like I said, is older than me, we still talk about garden football now and how serious it got and some of the goals that were scored. So yeah, I think it was a competitive streak from early.
That is so true. Like etched in your memory, some of the greatest goals ever scored in the garden. Like they will never leave
yeah,
you.
we still talk about it now. Yeah.
Sky Sports genuinely trying to pay all those rights money for Champions League. Well, it's garden football.
Yeah, that's where the camera should be.
You're like 3-0 down. Let's call Uncle Alan. Get a Shearer around. Come make up our side.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good memories.
Did you ever play with him? Did he come round? Did Alan Shearer ever score? All those goals he scored in the Premier League, did he ever score?
Yeah, no, we used to have barbecues and everything. Dad had like a little group of them. It'd be Gary Speed, Alan Shearer, Shay Given. There was a few of them in the end. We used to have barbecues, have parties all together, and all the kids would grow up playing together. So there used to be all sorts of five-a-sides going on. I remember. Yeah, we'd have a barbecue, and obviously they'd all be on the beers, and we'd be playing football with everyone. And yeah, it's some of my fondest memories growing up. And just, I think if you look back at it now, it's like, wow, I was playing with all these players, so I didn't even. They're just Dad's mates to me. Like, this is just Dad and his mates. Like, these are just family friends.
Some of my fondest memories being two-footed tackled by
yeah,
Shearer
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when scoring past Shay Given, and it's crazy when you think about it. But only now, if I look back, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually really cool. But at the time, you're just playing with your family friends and the kids and Dad's mates. Really, yeah, it's weird.
You graduated from West Ham's academy, signed your first contract with the Hammers 2012, making your professional debut on January 16, 2013 in an FA Cup replay against, do you remember this?
Yeah, United, yeah.
United. You and United legend Paul Scholes both went into the game in the 78th minute as substitutes. United's Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, Michael Carrick already on the field. What goes through your mind in that situation when you see your number on the fourth officials board for the first time? Is it something you're aware of in that moment? You're like, okay, this is it, it's happening. Or do you only process that your career officially started after the final whistle?
Yeah, I think you only process that your career officially starts after the final whistle. But at the time, I just remember just looking around, and obviously I was a young player, then I hadn't played in many like big stadiums, and it was at Old Trafford, it was the Theatre of Dreams, and I'm looking around and hearing the noise, and it was like a coliseum. I think there was 70, 80,000 fans there, and I'm looking at Wayne Rooney to the left of me, Paul Scholes to the right of me, Giggs in front of me, and I'm like, wow, like this is incredible. So I sort of did try and take it in, even at a young age. And obviously, when in the back of your head, you're like, just give me one chance, and I'll try and score. Like,
yeah, that's your mentality. You weren't like, oh my God, I am genuinely crapping myself. You were just like, give me that one chance. I'm ready. Let me take this.
Yeah, no, of course there was nerves, but like good nerves. It was like this is what I've been doing. This is as a kid. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be surrounded by all these players and in these stadiums and cheered on by thousands of fans, like I said. And it was just like, just give me one chance, please. Just give me one chance, and I'll score it. But in the same time, I was just trying to take it all in, and like I said, like just it was incredible. Incredible feeling for an 18-year-old to come on with all these players in front of all these fans. And yeah, I remember instead of getting a chance, I think I had Phil Jones welcome me to senior football, and I went up for a header with him, and he just flattened me straight on the floor, and then landed on top of me as well. So yeah, that's the greeting I got into senior football at Old Trafford. Yeah,
it's always you, Phil Jones. You made several appearances for West Ham's development squad before being sent on loan first to Colchester United, then in League One, and to Southend United in League Two. That loan to the Shrimpers lasted just over an hour. This part of your story is incredible. You suffered a hamstring injury during your very first training session with your new club, sent back to West Ham, spending several months in agony on the sidelines. As a 19-year-old, how do you experience that? Does it feel like a major setback? You're like, God, my luck. Or do you still feel young enough to just overcome everything?
I think at the time it was a tough one to take, actually, because I'd obviously spoke to all the first team management at West Ham, and they were like, yeah, go to Southend, because at the time the manager was Phil Brown, who was really close with the manager at West Ham, Sam Allardyce, and it was like a good sort of connection. So I was quite excited about it. And then honestly, it was my first training session. I just met the lads, and I went to a back hill to try and keep the ball in. This is a day before a game, and I've never had really getting muscle injuries, and my hamstring just went pop, and I was like, oh, what was that? I tried to run it off, but I can't run here. And also I just met all the lads as well, and I'm like, what's going on here? But like the I call it the Southend sniper. He got me right in the hamstring. But yeah, do you know what? At the time, it was a horrible feeling, because I've met all the lads. I've come in as a new signing, and I can't do this. Like, I'm out for. It was a bad hamstring injury. I was out for 3 months.
Mentally devastating.
Yeah, and what got even worse was at the time social media was getting bigger, and I remember seeing a headline like "shortest loan ever, Elliot Lee," and I was like, "Oh no, surely I haven't got that title." But yeah, no, it wasn't a nice time. It was obviously it was hard to come back from as well, and yeah, like I said, seeing headlines like that didn't help. Getting a bit of stick from the fans, but it's football. It's part and parcel of life. You have ups, you have downs, and you learn from it, you grow from it. And I actually wouldn't change it, because the way I look at things is, stuff. I like to think that everything happens for a reason. So I actually got injured then, but I actually went back to West Ham. That loan got cancelled, and at the end of the season, I came on at St James's Park against Newcastle in the Premier League. So if that didn't happen, I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? How it works out in the end, I always, yeah, I find it quite.
I love that life philosophy, and you lived a lot of life over the course of the next 4 years. You played for 4 different clubs, 3 different levels of the football pyramid: League Two, League One, and the Championship. And we talked about this with your Wrexham teammate Ollie Palmer. But how does it affect a young player to have to start over every couple of months, when you have to introduce yourself to a new manager, prove yourself to a new set of teammates, learn a new system, find a way around a new town? How does that affect your development as a player when you're kind of spending half your time just trying to remember your own new address?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's life of a footballer, really. You know that not at any point, but every few months you could be moving away. And actually, at the time when I was younger, you could go on loan whenever, all throughout the season. So you could literally have one phone call, one meeting with the manager, and you're going here. All right, okay, like pack your bags. And yeah, it's happened a few times. It's part and parcel of the game. You just have to adapt as you go, really. That's why I think it's so important to actually find a home where you're not moving about, and which as a young lad is hard, because you do need to go out and get experience on loan and see how the real football works. But like I said, as my career went on, I found a home at Luton and grew from there, and then I've also found a home here. So
yeah, and we were talking about Luton Town. 2017, that permanent move went down. You joined the Hatters at a time when your older brother Ollie also played for the club. I like to think of you like the Ayew brothers, the English version of the Ayew brothers. What was your experience like for both of you to connect with him in training, for him to cross the ball during matches, to see 2 shirts with Lee on the back, both hanging there in the dressing room?
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I think we both speak about it as one of the proudest points in our careers, playing together, and the feeling that it didn't not just gave us, but all of our family as well. My mum and dad weren't split every Saturday going to watch one or the other. They helped everyone out in that way. Everyone was at Kenilworth Road. But yeah, I think it was nice to give that sense of pride to the family and to me and my brother, because we'd grown up playing in the garden, pretending we're going to win trophies with each other, and pretending we're going to win the Premier League, the FA Cup with each other, and doing all sorts of imagination things and playing football as kids. And to actually go and do that in real life, yeah, it wasn't Premier League, it wasn't FA Cup, but it was still professional football. It was League Two, and to go and achieve something as well. We got promoted with each other. Yeah, it was incredible. I look back on it as some of the greatest times, and even that team we had was so good. And just the day-to-day going in with your brother. I was going to work with my brother every day, and I'm close with my brother as well. So it's like I had the best of both worlds, really. It was great.
And last year, your brother was forced to retire from football at just 31 years old due to the devastating effects of psoriatic arthritis and Raynaud's disease. And you posted a beautiful tribute to him on Instagram, complete with photos of the 2 of you as kids in matching Newcastle jerseys, on the pitch at Luton Town together, celebrating the Hatters' promotion to the Championship alongside each other. And you wrote, "We got to live our childhood dreams together. I wouldn't be the player or person I am today without you." Elliot, you saw Ollie have his career cut short. Has that changed the way you approach your own career, your own opportunities, the own moments that you have on the field? Does it make you more appreciative of your own experiences?
Yeah, I think so, because I think maybe if you're not in football, you don't realise the impact that retirement can have on a player. It's more than a job. Football. It's a lifestyle. It's a daily routine. It's coming in with the lads every day and just being kids again and working hard and if you get a good group of lads, a good team like this, you can't beat the feeling. My dad speaks about it all the time, and he says just enjoy it while you're playing, because my dad would rip his arm off to go back into a change room and play on a Saturday again. So he's instilled that into me and my brother since we were young. So yeah, obviously seeing my brother have to retire wasn't a nice thing for him or for all the family. But again, it's part of life. Like there's going to be down times, there's going to be up times, but it's about how you deal with that. So yeah, my brother's doing really well now. Like I said, it was devastating that he had to retire, but I like to take the positives and think what he did achieve and how we got the time to play together as well. And now he's flourishing in his coaching career. So that's great news. But yeah, like, I think I probably do appreciate it more. Obviously, like I said, with my dad, he tells me all the time, just enjoy it, and my brother would tell me the same now as well, because what they do to be back in the dressing room and playing on Saturdays is yeah, it's a special feeling being a footballer and being in a change room like we have here at Wrexham as well. Like I said, it's like a bunch of kids coming together again, and even though you're late 20s, 30s, and it's just like being at school again with your mates. You come in, you work hard, you have a laugh. I mean, there's no better life for me.
You spent 5 years at Luton. Hatters won back-to-back promotions, climbing from League Two to League One, before levelling up in the Championship. You were an essential part of those promotions. You scored 22 goals, 70 league appearances. And Elliot, I'm asking for a friend, actually for around 15,000 friends at the SToK Kairas. As someone who's been there, been promoted, what does it take to get promoted out of League Two?
It takes a strong unity from top to bottom. At Luton, it was a very well-run club, good owners, good manager, good staff, good lads, and the fans we're all on board together. And I've said it since day one. I truly believe that we have that here, if not better. From the owners to the manager to the staff that we have here, and the lads and the fans all being on one page is so important to any success, because I can't speak highly enough of everyone around the club. All the lads in the dressing room, everyone gets on so well. Like I said, we just have a laugh, but we work so hard in training. I think you need that. You need the best of both. Like, we'll all push each other, but then we'll come into the dressing room, we'll be laughing together, and you need that, because in times when you're winning, it's great, but when you're losing, like, that's when you really see how much of a team you are and how together you are from top to bottom. So like, even recently we've lost a few games on the trot, but now when you really see how together we are as a club, from the owners to the staff to the players to the fans, and that's what brings you through, and that's what ultimately gets you success.
You left Luton May 2022. You spent the season on loan at Charlton Athletic in League One, and your agent then called you and said, "I've got a club for you, but I'm not sure what you're going to think about it." Elliot, take us into that moment when he told you that Wrexham were interested in you. Wrexham, who at that time just finished their 14th straight season in the National League, 2 levels below where you've been playing. What were your first thoughts, really, when he pitched you on this idea?
It was an interesting one, actually, because about just before that season ended, I knew I'd be out of contract. So I remember sitting with my dad, and then my dad was like, "Oh, do you like what's going on at Wrexham? Like, would that fancy?
Out of the blue,
just out of the blue, yeah." Because obviously he knows about Ryan Reynolds and Rob, and he was like, "Would that ever fancy you?" I was like, "Yeah, maybe." Like I said, I joined Luton as a project in League Two, and I'd always said that I wanted something like that. I wanted to be part of something special. So then, fast forward 2-3 months down the line, I just got back from my summer holidays, and my agent called me, and he said, "Oh, I've had Phil Parkinson on the phone." And
the Wrexham manager.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And my agent's first words were like, "Oh, but I wasn't going to tell you." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Steady on, lad." And he was like, "Yeah, I spoke to your dad, and your dad said, I've got to tell you." And I went, "Yeah, he's right." Like, so I said, "Yeah, no, I'll speak to."
Dad must have felt like a psychic.
yeah, no, it's strange how it works out. So then my agent was like, "Right, so you want to speak to the manager?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to speak to Phil, definitely."
Does Phil say words other than fuck?
Well, the enthusiasm.
Does he actually have like other words?
Yeah, he's got other words to go. Yeah, but no, yeah, and I had a few great conversations with the gaffer over the summer, and just from that, I knew that this is where I wanted to come and play, and it was basically what I was looking for. I had other offers to stay in the league, but I wanted to be part of something special, and I feel like it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney had completed their takeover in February 2021, but the documentary Welcome to Wrexham, the show that would turn this club into a worldwide phenomenon. The football version of Stanley Quencher Cups hadn't yet premiered, so what did you know about Wrexham as a club, as a town, as a project? What was the word that was out? Or was it just your dad, like a religious prophet, being like...
Yeah, no, I knew they were a well-supported club, but obviously I knew that they'd had problems. And then obviously with everything that went on with the new ownership with Rob and Ryan, it was like, oh, okay, like everyone started to take a little bit more of an interest. And I think my dad knew Wrexham up being the massive club they were back when he played, and that's probably why he mentioned it a little bit. He knew like because Luton is similar. Luton is like they get 10,000. It's an old stadium, but the atmosphere.
It's like garden football, but
it's at Kenilworth Road. It's an incredible atmosphere, and there's such a well-supported club, and maybe some people don't realise that. And I felt like maybe that was the same with Wrexham. Like, they're so well supported, but they were just. It was like a sleeping giant, and obviously when Rob and Ryan took over, you really thought that something special could happen there. So. Yeah, in all honesty, I didn't know loads about Wrexham, but I'd obviously heard of Wrexham. I knew how well supported they were, and then when the call came, obviously, like my dad even said more to me about it, and and here we are now. Yeah.
You took the shirt number 38 at Wrexham, which you also wore at Luton in honour of a friend and West Ham teammate Dylan Toombs, who passed away from testicular cancer in 2014 at just 20 years of age. West Ham gave him the ultimate honour. His jersey is one of only two the club have ever retired. The other one is the number 6 that belonged to the great Bobby Moore. You also have a tattoo for Dylan on your wrist. And for those of us who didn't know Dylan, didn't see him play on the field, what are your enduring memories of him?
Dill was just it was Dill. He just we used to just muck about like in training. Like, when you're young, you're teenagers, early 20s, and 17, 18, 19, and it was a group of lads that you'd grown up with. Dill, I'm not sure what age Dill actually came over from Australia. It was like maybe 15, 16. And like, so you all just like, obviously I'd been at West Ham since I was 7 or 8, so I'd grown up with all these lads, and Dill just came straight into the group, and everyone could see how talented he was, and it was just like, it was just like someone you'd grown up with and playing football with every week, and every day training with him, and to hear the news of obviously his original diagnosis was incredibly like heartbreaking. But Dill would still come in. He'd have his chemotherapy, and he'd come in, and he'd even play in games. And I think it was an inspiration to all the boys, how you'd see him mid-treatment, but he's playing in like development squad fixtures, and he's on the bench for the first team. And it's outrageous for someone to do that. It's incredible. So he was inspiring for all of us, and it's a tragedy that his life was cut short, because he had so much potential, and not just as a player but as a person as well. Yeah.
Can you put into words what it means for you to wear that jersey, that tribute, to carry his memory with you?
Yeah, it's why I do it really. I just always, like you said, a few of us went and got a tattoo for him, and a few of the boys even wear his number. So it's just my little tribute to Dill as I go through my career. I've always seemed to do well with the 38 on my back, so I like to think that he's helping me out. I say a few words to him before a game and touch the number on my back. So it means a lot to me to be able to represent the 38. Yeah, definitely.
Your first game with Wrexham, 2022-23 season opener against Eastleigh. Wrexham started their 15th straight season in the National League, where they've been stuck since 2008. The dark days when people still brought Zunes and tumblers. You became the first Wrexham player to score 2 goals on your debut. You played in 45 of Wrexham's 46 league games. You bagged 14 goals, all competitions, including the winner against Notts County in that 3-2 win that will always be remembered as the hand of Foz, when goalkeeper Ben Foster saved a penalty in the 97th minute to send Wrexham top of the table. Elliot, was that the moment, or was there a moment when you finally realised or started to believe that it could be Wrexham's year?
Was there a moment? Honestly, I'd say the moment was in the 92nd minute against Boreham Wood. That game was the only time that I probably just like breathed a sigh of relief. I looked at the clock, and I think it was 92 minutes, and we were 3-1 up, so we had a 2-goal lead. So I was like, I think we might have done it now. Like this.
Only then?
Only then.
Only at the end of the journey,
honestly,
did you say?
Yeah, because I remember speaking about it with Moles in the car and stuff, and we were just like, this is relentless. This is like we're coming in, Notts County are winning. they're like we've won again, they've won again, and it's like it's ridiculous. Like it wasn't a normal season. It was an incredible season from both teams, and to get 100 points both, and just to keep pushing each other and pushing each other. Honestly, like you may say it's National League, but obviously we know like the expectation of Wrexham and how much the fans care, and so the pressure that we took daily was just, you can't let it bring you down. But it was like sometimes they'd be like, this is relentless. But you have to just take it in your stride and take it in your stride. And
what do you tell yourself in those moments?
it's hard. You've got to just try and tell, like you can only do your best. Like we are doing our best. We are working so hard for this club, this badge, this community, for everyone. Like we all just wanted it so bad, but you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, because then that can affect your performance. So you try and sort of block out all the expectation and all the pressure. But it's hard. It's there. It's natural. It's part and parcel of being a footballer and playing for a well-supported club and a club that has big expectations. You have to take that in your stride, which is why I want to play for a club like Wrexham. But yeah, like I said, it was relentless the whole way, and just getting to that Boreham Wood game. I remember my family were there, and honestly, it got to the 92nd minute. I looked at the scoreboard, and I was like, you know what, I think I've done it now. But it's one of the best feelings.
Like, was it relief, exhaustion?
Everything, yeah.
Or was there an
Everything,
exhilaration?
just pride, relief, exhaustion. It'd been such a grueling season, relentless again. So to have all of those emotions and that weight just like off your shoulders, yeah, it was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
So all you knew in that Notts County game was that in 9 months' time there'd be a lot of Welsh kids named Foz being born.
Yeah, they had the Foz game. Yeah, and even that, just an incredible game on it. I still get people asking. I go home back to like London, Essex, and people still ask me about that Notts County game. Everyone was watching it. Everyone. I think it's one of the, if not the biggest game in National League history. And do you want to know what I think it is? Because of all the VAR in the Premier League now, and the higher you go, like everything wants to be perfect. And I think a lot of people actually watch that game and were like, this is real football. This is just pure passion. Like there's goals going in and there's celebrations. There's no one's, oh, is that going to get checked? Is this going to get checked? And just like, I think even after that game, I think, because people I feel like are sometimes on the fence with Wrexham, do we like them? I love them, I hate them, like jealousy. I think a lot of people after that game changed their sort of perspective on Wrexham. We're like, hang on a minute, there's something really special going on there.
Let's have a baby and call it the Foz.
Yeah, let's go make some baby Fozzie, yeah.
You came through again. 3 matches later, as you say, against Boreham Wood. They scored just 44 seconds into that match. I mean, what a punch. Into the old down belows, you guided a header into the far post at the 15-minute mark. 2 second-half goals from Super Paul Mullin. Wrexham finished 3-1, one-way ticket, a Willy Wonka ticket out of the National League was yours. What are your enduring moments of the emotional celebrations that followed? What did it feel like as you looked at those fans?
No, I think even when you say it like that, it still gives me a smile on my face. I get goosebumps, because I think, me personally, and I know all the lads really, we knew how much it meant to people. We knew, yeah, Ryan and Rob have been incredible. Everyone knows how good they've been, but like, it's also like how for the community. But we also, it's ingrained in us by the gaffer, by Rob and Ryan as well, that these people have been here before and they've been through so much bad times with the club, and they all still come in their numbers. And just to bring, like, I remember seeing like on the bus parade, and even after the game against Boreham Wood, like just genuine like tears of happiness and just joy. Like we got to do that for people, and yeah, that's a feeling that I'll take to the grave with me, because that's something I'm so proud to be a part of, to be able to bring that joy to people. Because it goes deeper than football. It's people's lives. This club is people's lives, and I don't ever take that for granted when I go out on the pitch, and to be able to. I remember the manager when he called me the summer before I joined, and he said, "Oh, whoever takes this club out of the National League, you will be loved forever." And I remember like I felt that love like straight up when that final whistle went. I was like, "Wow, this is incredible. We've actually done it. Like we've brought joy to so many people, and they pay their hard-earned money just to come and watch us and to support the club, support the badge." And after the ownership, like everything that's gone on, just to be able to bring like better days back is, yeah, the feeling that Boreham Wood game was incredible. Yeah.
You got an incredible quote that I love, Elliot. You said that Wrexham has become a place where the surreal becomes normal.
Yeah. That just, a lot of people would tell me about that quote. But yeah, it just rolled off the tongue. It's just that's what it is. It is, the surreal does become normal here. I've said it before, I'm in the changing room. Will Ferrell's walking in, and I'm seeing Paul Rudd watching us, and even this season we've had Hugh Jackman here, and it's crazy. There's no club like it. I try to explain it to people when I go back home, and everyone wants to ask about it. Everyone asks about Wrexham. How is it? How is it? Even my dad gets annoyed because he goes to Newcastle like dues, and he goes to ex-England dues, and they're saying, "Oh, how's Wrexham? It's the first question they ask him. They don't ask him, "Oh, how are you, Rob? How's Newcastle? How was England?" They ask him how Wrexham is. So we laugh about it, but I think it's just people are so interested in it, and it's just it's surreal. There's no club like it.
I mean, it is a perfect way to capture a club where the king just swings by for photos, and your football club is putting this town, Wrexham, on the map. The Beatles put my city, Liverpool, on the map. Any number of Marvel superheroes may materialise in the owner's box. When Will Ferrell, as you say, casually strolls in to the changing room, and you once said that if you could have 3 people join you at dinner, Will Ferrell would be among them. Who are the other 2, Elliot Lee? And why is one of them Ollie Palmer?
Oh, I wouldn't want Ollie on there, no way. You wouldn't be able to get a word in. But I actually don't know who the other 2 would be. I don't know if I thought about it, but Will Ferrell, I've said it from me and my brother watched his films all growing up, and that is just my sense of humour, like stupid sense of humour. And yeah, if he would be the first name on my dinner table. And honestly, I think that out of everything that happened last season, that is what my mates back home were most impressed with as well. Will Ferrell came in. Yeah.
I mean, the amazing thing about him is he's proper football.
Yeah.
He's proper football.
Yeah. No, he's I remember I was in the changing room and someone came in and was like, "Oh, Will Ferrell's there." I was like, "Nah, you're lying," because I think all the lads know that I love him as well. Like,
what's your favourite movie?
There's a few. I'd have to put up The Step Brothers is up there for me. That's just me and my brother used to watch that all the time. Like, it was just so funny, isn't it? Like, so when he's walking in the change, like I'm starstruck. Like, this is before a game. I'm starstruck. Like, I've got the biggest smile on my face, and I think it was Paddy does the documentary films, and he was like, "Oh, I'm getting him in here for you." Like, I was like, "Oh, Paddy, please," like, because I was getting treatment at the time in the physio room, and Paddy like managed to sneak like a little picture of him talking to me. So
into the show.
Yeah,
on the field, are you doing extra things on the field because Ferrell's there?
Oh yeah, I'm doing all sorts. Yeah, I've got
bits.
yeah, I've got a proper spring in my step. Will Ferrell's here, so before I'd already won the game before it even kicked off because I've met Will Ferrell. I've just been chatting to him. So. Yeah, no, it's just, that's what I mean. It's stuff like that, and I remember I was speaking to all the lads straight after. I was like, "What's this happened there?" Like, it's Will Ferrell. Like, he's a legend.
Well, let's go Parkinson's next team talk. Got a fucking win for fucking Jackman today. Get fucking Jackman fucking 3 points. Shortly before you signed Wrexham, you started working with Rob Blackburn, a specialised performance coach, to help you with the mental aspect of the game. Can you talk about what made you decide to seek that at this point in your career and how it's affected your mindset on and off the field?
Rob's a guy I've worked with since I joined Wrexham, actually. I don't know, I just got to a point in my life where I was a bit fed up of taking football back home. I mean, I'd play games, and if I lost and I had a bad game, it'd ruin my weekend. Like, and I'd take it home like to mum, my dad. Like, I just wouldn't be. I don't know, I'm a big advocate of life. You get one life, like, you live a short life, just enjoy it. And I didn't want to be just owned by how like Elliot Lee, the footballer. I didn't want to be, all the fans are so annoyed of us. Like, I've let so many people down. I know how much it means to people, but I had to find a way of dealing with it. And I thought, if I can deal with it in a better way, then my performances will get better on the pitch, because I'll take that edge off a little bit. And stop putting so much pressure on myself. And I thought, joining Wrexham, like, obviously, like, I was a big sign in the summer, so I was like, right, I know how much this means to people, but I can't. If I put too much pressure on myself, then they're not gonna get the best of me. So that's when I went to speak to Rob, and Rob has been incredible for me ever since. He's become a really good friend of mine. I talk to him still to this day about things, and he just helped me look at life and football in a different perspective.
What's the most important lesson that he's taught you?
He's taught me a few, to be fair, but I'd say we often create stories in our head how things should be, how things shouldn't be. You don't actually realise until you get told that, like, oh, it should be like this. Like, even like, say we lost a few games. Oh, we should have won them. Well, no, we haven't won them. So I'm not going to get stressed and argue with it. And it just sort of got me accepting more stuff in life and being more flexible because, yeah, we lost games. I'm gonna have let people down. I'm gonna be taking some criticism because I think I've taken the praise when we do well. So if we don't do well, then I'll take the criticism. That's part and parcel of life. There's a lot of paradoxes in life. There's no good without bad. There's no criticism without praise. There's no success without failure. So yeah, he's changed my mindset a hell of a lot, and I'm a lot better person and a lot better player because of it.
God, I mean, that's amazing to not beat yourself up because of what should have happened, but to face up to that reality and then act against it. And I do want to ask you quickly about the third round of the FA Cup when Wrexham faced cross-border rival Shrewsbury Town, 31 miles south, one division up from Wrexham. Before the match, Shrews defender Tom Flanagan played the role of this year's Billy Sharp. Should be a trophy for that. Saying of Wrexham that they were semi-professional footballers last season. And that comment, honestly, it aged like gas station sashimi. Wrexham won 1-0 thanks to a second-half goal from Thomas O'Connor. And after the final whistle, you gave credit to your teammates before dedicating that win to Flanagan with a cheeky, "That one's for you, mate." Oh, Elliot, how do other players and other clubs perceive Wrexham based on the rise, the ownership, the documentary, the international interest? What do they get wrong about this club?
I think it's natural, whether it's jealousy because they think we're arrogant. I'd probably say that a lot of that is that they think we're arrogant just because because of the owners, because of the documentary. But honestly, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like I said, I can't speak highly enough of the owners, the staff, the lads. Like the manager is on us every day. Like we don't get carried away with everything that goes on. It's unbelievable. Everything that goes on around the club is amazing, and we're lucky to be a part of it all. But our main focus is football. Our main focus is hard work and getting this club as high as we can in our time here. But and that is ingrained into us every day, and that's what the lads are like. Like I said, we come in, we have a laugh, but we work so hard together, and we all know what we want to achieve together. But yeah, I think it's in life. If you're, I don't know, people want to bring you down. I think sometimes when you're doing well and because of the documentary and like some of it on TV and there's a lot of love around us. There's also a lot of hate. And like I said, I think you're either one or the other with Wrexham. I don't think you're. I don't mind them. I think you either love us or you hate us.
Don't have strong feelings.
But yeah, I don't really. I get the hate. Like it's football. You're never gonna. It's life. You're not gonna please everyone. But I don't get the hate for being arrogant because it couldn't be further from the truth around the club, because I feel like I said, it's ingrained into us every day how important hard work and being humble is, but despite everything that goes on around the club, which is so amazing, that we are professional footballers and we have a job to do.
In that regard, January 1st, you've brought in the new year by signing a new contract with Wrexham, one that will keep you at the SToK RAS through the 2026-27 season, the one that follows the United States' inevitable World Cup win. When you signed the new contract, you said maybe taking one step back was the best option for us in our careers at that point, and it's proved out to be that way. What have you gotten from Wrexham that you didn't get or that you weren't getting from other clubs?
It's given me so much. Like I said, I feel like I've found a home again at Wrexham, and that's so important. I think as a footballer, if you feel valued in your place of work and you love going into your place of work, wherever you are, you don't have to be a footballer, but if you love going into your place of work every day, you love the people you work with, you're just a better person. You enjoy your life more, and like how can't you enjoy it? Because I'm coming in with great staff, great lads, all get on so well together, all work hard together. And like I said, that's why I feel like I get that home feeling, and that's why I feel like I feel valued here, and I love it so much here. I think even if you ask my parents and that, they'll just say they're probably the happiest I've seen me being at Wrexham. And I've said it before. I think I said on the documentary that if you'd have told me I'll be this happy and like enjoying football and life so much
as a person, happy.
Yeah, but I was in the National League last year. I'd have been like, no way. Like if you'd told me, no way. Like. But that's why I think life surprises you sometimes like that, and it's given me so much, like so much happiness, so much joy, so much pride. Just to come in every day, work with the lads, and achieving what we're achieving, and having that optimism, like we've still got so much more to achieve. It gives you a purpose, and it's given me so much. I'm forever grateful to Wrexham. Yeah.
So 2027, we don't know what will happen then for you, but where do you expect Wrexham to be? What do you think this club can achieve between now and then?
It's hard to say. I think there's so much ambition at the club, and so much potential. We're obviously in a good position now in the league. I've just been promoted last year, and if we can get out of this league, it'll be even harder to get out of the next league. That's the football pyramid for you. But it's hard to say. But all we can do is just control what we do every day, and that is just working hard and trying to get this club as high as we can. It's going well this season. Yeah, we've lost a few games recently, but we're back on track now. I would love to. In 2027, I would love to at least be in the league above this, and see where that takes us. I think there's great times ahead for us. Yeah, sure.
Last question for you, Elliot. 2015, you posted a quote from Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist, on your Instagram account. One that said, "It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." And as you look back at your career over the past 9 years, the clubs, the coaches you played for, the teammates you played alongside, the promotions with Luton and Wrexham, the time you've spent as your brother's teammate, have your dreams come true? Or do you have an entirely different set of dreams now, age 29, that you did back when you posted that quote initially?
I think it's a tough question. Because I think as you're growing up, you want to. Obviously, I'd seen my dad at the highest level, so I want to be a Premier League footballer. I want to play for England. I want to win the World Cup. But then as you go into your career, you sort of realise, for me, I'm actually, what was I chasing there? Like what would that have given me? Like obviously everyone wants to achieve the best, but I'm like so happy where I am now. I love playing for Wrexham. Like I said, I feel valued. I feel like I'm part of something special, and I've achieved something special last year in bringing joy to so many people's lives, and being proud of the people that I work with every day, that we achieved that together, and we've still got so much more to achieve together. So in a way, have my dreams come true? Yeah, I'm happy. I've achieved so much, like you said, playing with my brother, getting promoted with my brother, and Wrexham out of the National League, like so much to be grateful for in my life. So I think, my dreams I have achieved my dreams, but also my dreams have changed as I've got older, and I've got many more dreams to achieve here at Wrexham and in my personal life as well. So I think, what would I have been then? 2015, it's probably 20-year-old. So wise words from a 20-year-old Elliot Lee.
It's amazing. Who didn't want to be a pastry chef. But to paraphrase, you want to win the World Cup still, but with Wrexham.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that'd be perfect.
Elliot Lee, to you, to your family, to your club, and to future glory.
Thank you very much, Raj. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, man. Courage.